Hello, good evening everyone. So today we are going to start sessions on list. So in this session we'll discuss about the basics of list. So as we know about that in Python, we have multiple data structures like list, tuple, sets, and dictionary. So in later on session we'll see about more things about tuple, sets, and dictionary. But today we'll start with the list. Now let's begin with the list. So as we know, we have lots of data structure, and uh, in that data structure we require elements in a sequential order. So for that we use list. So basically we can say that if we want to represent a group of individual data, in the individual data it means suppose that we have a 20 is integer, and jesa is one of the string. Okay, so integer and strings and 30.7.5 35.775, this is float, right? So what we can say that integer, string, and float, right? So if you want to represent a group of indivisible objects, so these are the objects. This is one object, integer 20 integer is one object, jesa is another object, 35.75 is another object, and this is a list, 30 60 30, this is a set of list, right? So we can say that we can represent a group of elements, right, in a single entity. We can say that we store all this value in a list variable, right? So we can say that is list is a group of individual object. Okay, what we can say, list is a group of individual object where insertion order is preserved. Insertion order is preserved in the means like input we give on the basis of 20 jsa 30 point, like based on index value 0 1 2 3, right? So once you get the output, if you once you are trying to print that value, like print list, if you write in that way, print list, so you will get the output in the same order. So that's the reason we can say that insertion order is preserved, and duplicates we can allow in that also, right? So that's the reason this is one of the example of list. Okay, or you can say that this is one of the features of the list. So here I mentioned insertion order is preserved. So I explained that why insertion order is preserved. Duplicates objects are allowed because we are reading the list element basis on the indexes. So that's the reason duplicates objects are allowed in that. Heterogeneous duplicates are allowed. Heterogeneous in the sense we can say that 20 is one of the integer and jsa is the string. So integer, string, float, so that's the reason heterogeneous objects are allowed. Here I wrote like objects. Okay, so we can say, so these are the like features of the list. Insertion order is preserved, duplicates objects are allowed, and a list is a heterogeneous type. And there is one more feature, like list is dynamic. Dynamic in the sense, suppose that while runtime you can increase the size of the list also. Like suppose that in this example here you can see that initially that record is empty. Once you insert that one of the record, so one item is there, then later on you can add it two item, then later on added you added three item, and then later on you added four item. So based on your requirement you keep inserting those record, right? So that's the reason we can say that list is dynamic. So we can add the elements of the list based on our requirement, or if required in case we can decrease the size of the list also. So next point we can go with that, in list elements we placed within square brackets, right? As you see here, like we declare three variables, list 1, list 2, list 3. All the variables are all the variables value stores into the inside the square brackets, right? So this is the square bracket. So if you mention that in that way, list equal to, so first you need to give that square bracket, and with the help of comma separator you can give the value. So we can say that enlist element we will be placed within the square bracket and with the comma separator, right? So we can differentiate duplicate element by using index. So based on the index value, we can identify the duplicates elements. Like suppose that we have a 20 which was placed on 0 place and 2 was placed on 35. This is not a duplicate element, but in case here instead of 35.75, if 20 elements are there, so based on this index value we can identify the duplicates elements are there in the list or not, right? And this list supports like both like positive and negative index as well. Also, like positive index means like if you start reading from left to right, here you can see that the elements start from 0 1 2 3 4 5, right? It's a positive index from left to right. And same thing if you start from the right to left, so you need to read it from the -1 -2 -3, right? So we can say that list supports both positive and negative index as well. And this is one of the features of Python also. Okay, so here we can say that list support both positive and negative index as well. So like if you want to fetch the record based on two elements, so you can give it like list of two. If you want to fetch the records based on negative index, suppose that batch record, if you want to fetch based on the negative, just you need to give like list of -4. Or if you want to fetch last element of that element, so you have to write down list of -1. So like in that way you have to write down list of -1, so you can fetch the last element of that this record. So that's it for the today's session. We'll see more about list in another session. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.